Hello, welcome back. I hope everything is running. Yes, it is. Okay, thank you. So once more, welcome back. And today we have 5 amazing, beautiful, high quality audiophile reissues. In one case, again, thanks to DJ Zocchi, we can do a comparison between two first pressings. And I'd suggest we start with the one I can do a deep dive in a way and compare it to other first pressings. So we do it with the Montrose self-titled release that came out shortly by Analogue Productions within the 40th anniversary series. And yeah, we get the audiophile reissue like always in a beautiful, sturdy Stoughton jacket, and we do the comparison with the first French pressing. So nothing spectacular here, but when you see the German first pressing, that might change. I now show you the German first pressing, and that one looks like this. So that's quite a difference, and honestly, honestly, just from the design of it, I prefer the German ones. So here we go, German first pressing. So let's start with some interesting facts when it comes to that 1973 Montrose first pressing, or when it came out in that year in the United States. And we have a vocalist who made a huge career, and at that time I think he wasn't very well known. We're talking about Sam Hagar, who later became the frontman of Van Halen. And yeah, here is the record where it all began. So for me, the title of the album is that wonderful Space Station number 5. That song really do remind me, when it comes to the vibe, the rhythm, almost everything, the punch, to Led Zeppelin. Really have to say that. I was really reminded to Led Zeppelin. And I said, oh my God, Led Zeppelin really echoes here. So wow. Of course, we have other tracks you might want to get into if you don't know that album that well. And that's for once Bad Motor Scooter and Rock the Nation. But when we now go into the comparison, which we do right after I show you the label of the Analogue Production reissue, so here you can see that one, then we have to state, or I have to state, that in my opinion, there is not a huge difference at all between the first beautiful German pressing and the French pressing. Although I'd have to say, if I can choose, I'd go for the German pressing, but that's mostly because of the cover art. It's quite a difference when we compare the Analogue Production to those first pressings, because once more, we have that immense effect between the mastering. Of course, it's all analog. You know the drill when it comes to Analogue Production. This goes for all the titles here we have in that video. They differ between the running speed. 2 of them I talked today about here is 45 RPM. 3 of them are 33s and a third. But on the other hand, this love for quality, this love for detail, really shows its result when you are sitting in your listening room and enjoy those titles. The Montrose, which is also very rock driven. I mean, I've read that this is considered to be the first American hard rock album, which is also quite something to say, but hey, when they say it, then there must be some truth to it. So this is also considered to be one of the first or the first American hard rock album. Maybe if some hard rock fans watches this video, give me your opinion if you agree to that statement. But you know, this overall sound comes with such a punch again and such a clearance, and the guitars really do benefit from the concentration of the mid-range. I can't state it enough, the mid-range is so essential, and the mid-range, if this is good and well done and clean done, that's so important, and you have so amazing results when you have that. And this is something you have here with that 45 release of Montrose. So in a nutshell, you have more detail, more richness, more punch, especially on the guitar-driven sound. Brilliant. So if you are into Montrose, if you are into that debut album, you really should consider this Analogue Production 45 RPM reissue. But there's a second one. But I have to say that I cannot compare that second one with any first pressings. But hey, we can still talk about it. And here you have the cover art, and this is a beautiful cover, isn't it? And it looks like that it originally also came out as a gatefold, as you can see here with the lyrics. And I don't know, as I haven't seen an original. Please, if you know, is this the way it came out in 1972, or is there a difference? Yeah. Now that we've talked about that beautiful Stoughton jacket, the title track, Summer Breeze, really was quite a successful album. And another fact that I've learned here from a visitor in the vinyl room, Jim Seals and Dash Crofts, they knew each other for quite a long time, and they have been members to the Champs. Okay, the Champs. Who are the Champs? At least I said that. Maybe you don't. And then there was a title, and then I knew who the Champs are. Tequila, that amazing, wonderful track. So they have been part of that. So they really do know each other for quite some time when it came out. Another interesting fact is that the title track, Summer Breeze, also were used in 1974, so 2 years later, by the Isley Brothers. They put it on their album 3+3, and it again also became a classic on its own. So that title is really a beautiful, and for me, a pleasant surprise, because I was not that familiar with those guys, and I was really stunned and enjoyed listening to the whole album in its softness, beauty, this pop, folk, soft rock. I mean, Summer Breeze is considered to be one of the most beautiful soft rock anthems ever. So, but it also has a strong pop attitude to me, in my opinion. Of course, you're totally free to disagree, and let's discuss this again in the comment section down below. Yeah, and now we go for something really completely different. We talked about this guy in a former video when the first release of his came out on the Acoustic Sounds Chess series. And here is the amazing second installment of Chuck Berry, St. Louis to Liverpool. And again, beautiful jacket, as you can see, gatefold, glossy, wonderful release. Again, very powerful. And again, what this guy gets out of his guitar, this is This is totally crazy, totally crazy. And I think this is the 6th or 7th studio album from Chuck Berry. And this contains one very, very, very special song. I think we all know this song, or a lot of us do know this song, and the song is You Never Can Tell. Where do we know You Never Can Tell? I'll give you a second. Pulp Fiction, Uma Thurman, John Travolta. That's the song where they dance, this amazing dance. And yeah, so that's, if it only is for that song and that quality, I think that's really worth it. I wonder how many of you remember that scene. And for me, I didn't know that it was that song. That song was from Chuck Berry. No, I do know, and I really love that I do know it. On that album, there are quite some hits. I think 4 others that hits the charts in the same year. So this is. Seems to be an extremely successful album at the time. So now we still stay with jazz, and yeah, we have a giant of the blues scene. We have Muddy Waters, the real folk blues. Again, gatefold jacket, here you can see that. And yeah, that's quite interesting album. This is a compilation from the 60s. Jazz named it the real folk blues. Remember, folk singer. Yeah? And I already told that because this huge crowd and always growing crowd of young people who love folk music, they took advantage of this with the title. So we have a beautiful compilation by Muddy Waters here, and the title, because it's blues, and that's what we get here, but that's not what they called it at the time. Another fact somebody told me in the wine room, maybe confirmed that too, but I love those stories. Of course, maybe you do too. Muddy Waters gave the name to the Rolling Stones. Keith Richards once said that in an interview, that they had a Muddy Waters song, there was a Muddy Waters record lying around. Keith Richards or who else saw the title Rolling Stone without the G and said, come on, let's name us after that song, I like that. And so they became the Rolling Stones, but the management added the G. And so that's probably the reason why we have the Rolling Stones by now. If that's true, it's another amazing story. Yeah, last, but for sure not least in today's video, another jazz installment by Acoustic Sounds. And we have here the amazing, wonderful, great, I'm getting out of words, Howlin Wolf. Again, the real folk blues. So title probably for the same reason. Here you have some beautiful photos. And what's also worth to mention next, of course, to the wonderful quality, is that we have the young Buddy Guy as a sideman here next to the Howlin Wolf. And I think the Howlin Wolf was also invited by the Rolling Stones to one of their tours in the US, but I'm not 100% sure with this fact. But hey, it would fit. So here you have Howlin Wolf. Yeah, those blues records are so interesting, so amazing, and I'm getting deeper and deeper into this blues genre, those older blues records. And luckily, but maybe that's also worth an own video, thanks to Thomas Busk, who sends a lot of those jazz blues records as an original pressing here to the vinyl room. I could listen to those, and now I listen to them, and in general, there is quite a difference between those originals and those reissues. Not that you say, oh, this is way better than this one, but there's quite a difference, and maybe that's worth a video too to talk about this. But that's maybe in another video. And for now, like always, I thank you very much for your time, that you listened to that video. Hope you enjoyed. And yeah, see you on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.